Hinn, a well-known televangelist and faith healer, has been a controversial figure in the world of charismatic Christianity for decades. Despite the fame and success of his ministry, which focuses on healing and prosperity, Hinn has not been immune to health challenges. These struggles, especially for a man who preaches divine healing, have added complexity and depth to his personal and spiritual journey. One of the most significant health challenges Hinn has faced is related to his heart condition. In March 2015, Hinn was hospitalized due to serious heart issues. The sudden health crisis came as a shock to many of his followers, as Hinn had spent years leading massive healing crusades where he claimed to heal others through the power of faith. The irony of a faith healer experiencing such a life-threatening condition was not lost on the public, and it raised questions and criticisms from both believers and skeptics alike. Hinn himself acknowledged the gravity of his heart condition, sharing that the stress of ministry and a relentless travel schedule had taken a toll on his body. For years, Hinn had led a demanding lifestyle, preaching across the globe and holding large-scale healing services. The physical and emotional demands of this work, combined with the pressures of leading an international ministry, likely contributed to his deteriorating health. The heart condition required immediate attention, and Hinn was hospitalized for several days as doctors worked to stabilize him. In the wake of his heart scare, Hinn made efforts to recover and reflected on his health publicly. He spoke about the need for balance and taking care of one's body, even while maintaining faith in God's healing power. His health crisis became a reminder of the fragility of life, even for those who are seen as spiritual leaders. Hinn acknowledged that his health had been neglected for far too long, overshadowed by the demands of ministry and travel. This health battle was not just a physical struggle for Hinn but also a spiritual and emotional test. As someone who built a ministry on the promise of healing through faith, his personal health crisis seemed contradictory to the message he preached. Skeptics were quick to point out this contradiction, with many questioning the authenticity of his healing services. However, Hinn used the experience to emphasize that while God is capable of miraculous healing, he also works through doctors and medical professionals. His own recovery process, which involved medical intervention, was a testament to this belief. Despite the gravity of his heart condition, Hinn has continued to preach and lead his ministry, though he has made changes to his lifestyle. Following his hospitalization, Hinn slowed down his hectic schedule and prioritized his health, balancing his responsibilities with self-care. His experience with heart problems has shaped how he approaches ministry, preaching not only about spiritual healing but also about the importance of maintaining physical health and well-being. Hinn's health struggles also shed light on the emotional toll of leading a global ministry. Beyond the physical symptoms of his heart condition, Hinn faced the emotional burden of public scrutiny and pressure. As a high-profile religious leader, every aspect of his life is scrutinized, and the expectation for him to embody divine healing added another layer of stress. This constant pressure to live up to his public persona likely contributed to the emotional strain that exacerbated his health problems. Hinn's health journey is a reflection of the complexity of faith, healing, and human vulnerability. While he continues to preach about divine healing, his own health challenges have humanized him in the eyes of his followers. He is no longer seen as just a charismatic faith healer, but also as a man who has faced the same frailties and weaknesses as everyone else. In many ways, his health struggles have deepened his ministry, allowing him to connect with his audience on a more personal level, as someone who has experienced suffering and found healing, both through faith and medical intervention. In conclusion, Hinn's battle with heart disease has been a pivotal moment in his life and ministry. It has forced him to confront his own vulnerabilities and reconcile his message of healing with his personal health challenges. While the irony of a faith healer experiencing serious health problems has sparked criticism, it has also provided Hinn with an opportunity to reflect on the complexities of faith, healing, and the human body. His health struggles continue to shape his ministry, reminding both him and his followers of the importance of balance, self-care, and the belief that healing can come in many forms, whether through divine intervention or medical science. Benny Hinn, one of the most well-known televangelists in the world, has long been a polarizing figure due to his extravagant lifestyle and the financial controversies that have surrounded his ministry. His charismatic preaching and claims of miraculous healing drew millions of followers, but they also attracted scrutiny, particularly regarding how he funds his ministry and the lavishness of his personal life. Over the years, Hinn has faced a series of financial controversies that have led to public criticism, investigations, and a tarnished reputation. One of the most prominent financial controversies involving Benny Hinn is centered around his lavish lifestyle. Hinn has lived a life of luxury, staying in expensive hotels, flying in private jets, and wearing designer clothing, all funded by donations from his followers. These donations are often solicited during his televised sermons, where he promises that God will reward the givers with financial blessings or healing. Critics have questioned the ethics of asking for large sums of money from individuals, many of whom are struggling financially, while living a life of opulence. This stark contrast between the wealth of the preacher and the needs of his audience has been a central point of contention. The most significant financial controversy in Hinn's career came in 2007, when the U.S. Senate launched an investigation into the finances of several high-profile televangelists, including Hinn. Senator Chuck Grassley, who led the probe, was concerned about the lack of transparency and accountability in how these ministries handled donations. The investigation sought to determine whether Hinn and other televangelists were using tax-exempt ministry funds for personal enrichment. The inquiry focused on issues such as the use of private jets, luxury homes, and large salaries, all funded through donations intended for religious purposes. Throughout the investigation, Hinn maintained that he had done nothing wrong and that his ministry was compliant with U.S. tax laws. He insisted that the extravagant expenditures were necessary for the success of his global ministry, which involved extensive travel and high-profile events. Hinn argued that his large following and the scope of his work justified his lifestyle. However, the investigation raised serious concerns about financial transparency and the lack of oversight in how ministries like his manage their finances. Although the investigation concluded in 2011 without any penalties, it highlighted a broader issue regarding the financial operations of religious organizations, especially those that rely heavily on donations. Hinn's ministry, like many others, operates as a tax-exempt religious organization, meaning it does not have to pay federal income tax. This status, combined with the lack of financial disclosure required by law, made it difficult to assess how donations were being used. For critics, the investigation underscored the need for stricter regulations to ensure that donations are not being misused. In addition to the Senate investigation, Benny Hinn has also faced numerous lawsuits and allegations over financial mismanagement. Former employees and ministry insiders have accused him of using ministry funds for personal gain and maintaining a secretive approach to financial matters. In some cases, these legal battles have led to settlements, while in others, the accusations were dismissed. Nevertheless, these incidents have added to the perception that Hinn's ministry operates under questionable financial practices. In 2017, Benny Hinn's ministry was once again thrust into the spotlight when the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service raided his Texas headquarters as part of a financial investigation. The raid was part of an ongoing inquiry into Hinn's finances, though the details of the investigation were not fully disclosed at the time. Hinn later downplayed the raid, stating that it was merely part of a standard investigation and that his ministry was cooperating fully with authorities. However, the event reinforced long-standing concerns about how Hinn's ministry manages its wealth. Despite the ongoing controversies, Hinn's financial empire has continued to thrive, largely due to his dedicated following. His message of prosperity and healing resonates with many people who believe that donating to his ministry will lead to spiritual and financial rewards. This loyalty has allowed Hinn to maintain his luxurious lifestyle, even in the face of persistent criticism. For many of his followers, The accusations of financial mismanagement are overshadowed by their belief in his spiritual mission. However, Benny Hinn's own views on prosperity preaching have evolved over time. In a surprising turn of events in 2019, Hinn publicly renounced the prosperity gospel, stating that he no longer believed in the idea of giving large sums of money to receive blessings in return. He admitted that the practice of asking for money in exchange for miracles was wrong and that he had been guilty of this in the past. This statement was seen by many as a significant shift in his theology and an acknowledgement of the controversies that had surrounded his ministry for years. Hinn's renunciation of the prosperity gospel was both shocking and welcomed by critics, though some remain skeptical about whether this change would lead to concrete actions regarding his ministry's finances. In conclusion, Benny Hinn's ministry has been deeply marked by financial controversy. From accusations of personal enrichment to investigations by the U.S. Senate and IRS, Hinn has faced considerable scrutiny over how he manages the millions of dollars in donations his ministry receives. While he has maintained his innocence and defended his lifestyle as necessary for his global ministry, the criticisms and investigations have left a lasting impact on his public image. Hinn's eventual renunciation of the prosperity gospel represents a significant moment in his career, though it remains to be seen whether this change in theology will lead to greater financial transparency within his ministry. Benny Hinn, the world-renowned televangelist known for his healing ministry, has not only faced public scrutiny regarding his financial dealings but has also endured deeply personal struggles within his family life. One of the most notable and heart-wrenching events in his personal journey was his divorce from his wife, Suzanne Hinn, in 2010, which shocked his followers and created a media frenzy. This divorce and the subsequent family struggles left a profound impact on Hinn's life and ministry, forcing him to confront the challenges of maintaining personal relationships while leading a high-profile religious career. Benny and Suzanne Hinn had been married for over 30 years, a partnership that many believed was foundational to his ministry. Together, they raised 4 children and built a life that seemed aligned with the Christian values of family unity and marital commitment. However, in February 2010, Suzanne filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. This news sent shockwaves throughout the Christian community, as Hinn's image as a spiritual leader was often associated with his strong family values. For many of his followers, the divorce raised questions about the pressures that come with leading a global ministry and how those pressures might affect personal relationships. In the wake of the divorce, rumors and speculation circulated about what might have caused the breakdown of their marriage. Hinn later revealed in interviews that the couple had faced years of personal struggles. Suzanne had battled with prescription drug addiction, and her struggles had put a significant strain on their relationship. The toll of Hinn's demanding ministry schedule also contributed to the couple's growing distance. Traveling extensively for his healing crusades, Hinn was often away from home, and the separation only deepened the divide between them. These factors combined to create a volatile situation that neither could sustain. The divorce also had a ripple effect on Hinn's family, particularly their 4 children. While the details of the family's internal struggles remained largely private, it was evident that the split created significant emotional challenges. Hinn has spoken about how the divorce affected him spiritually and emotionally, describing it as one of the darkest periods of his life. Despite being a man of faith, he confessed to feeling broken and alone, grappling with feelings of failure as a husband and a father. The personal pain he experienced during this time was compounded by the public nature of his role as a pastor, which made his family's struggles a topic of public discourse. Adding to the complexity of this period, tabloid reports surfaced linking Benny Hinn romantically to fellow evangelist Paula White, another high-profile religious figure who had recently gone through a divorce. The rumors began when photographs emerged of Hinn and White holding hands during a trip to Rome. Both Hinn and White denied any romantic involvement, insisting that their relationship was purely platonic. However, the scandal fueled media speculation and added further stress to Hinn's already tumultuous personal life. Hinn addressed these rumors publicly, admitting that while he had confided in White during his separation from Suzanne, their relationship was not romantic. Despite the denials, the rumors only heightened the scrutiny surrounding Hinn's personal life. In the years following the divorce, Hinn made efforts to reconcile with his family, particularly with Suzanne. He openly admitted that he had neglected his family's emotional needs while being consumed by his ministry. In an attempt to rebuild what had been lost, Hinn sought marriage counseling and began working on repairing his relationship with Suzanne. These efforts culminated in a remarkable turn of events. In 2012, just 2 years after their divorce, Benny and Suzanne Hinn remarried in a private ceremony attended by close family and friends. Their decision to reconcile and remarry was seen as a testament to their faith and their commitment to restoring their family. The remarriage marked a significant moment in Hinn's personal and spiritual journey. He publicly acknowledged the mistakes he had made in his marriage and emphasized the importance of prioritizing family, even amidst the demands of ministry. In interviews following the remarriage, Hinn spoke candidly about the lessons he had learned from the experience, stating that he had come to understand the need for a balance between his calling as a pastor and his responsibilities as a husband and father. He admitted that the challenges of maintaining a healthy marriage while leading a global ministry had been greater than he anticipated, but expressed gratitude for the second chance he had been given with Suzanne. The family struggles Benny Hinn faced during this period of his life, particularly the divorce and reconciliation with Suzanne, deeply affected his ministry as well. He became more vocal about the importance of family unity and the need for pastors and spiritual leaders to care for their personal relationships. Hinn's own journey served as a powerful example to his followers that even those in positions of great spiritual authority are not immune to personal challenges. His willingness to admit his mistakes and work toward reconciliation demonstrated his vulnerability and humanity, which resonated with many of his supporters. In conclusion, Benny Hinn's divorce and family struggles were a defining chapter in his life. The pain of separation, the public scrutiny, and the emotional toll on his family tested his faith and forced him to confront the challenges of balancing ministry and family. Yet, through these difficulties, Hinn emerged with a renewed commitment to his marriage and a deeper understanding of the importance of nurturing personal relationships. His remarriage to Suzanne symbolized not only the healing of their relationship but also the power of forgiveness and restoration. Despite the hardships, Hinn's journey through family struggles became a profound part of his testimony and a source of inspiration for many who face similar challenges. Benny Hinn, a prominent televangelist known for his healing ministry and charismatic preaching, has built a significant following over the years, but his personal life has often been marred by controversy. Among the most sensational issues that have arisen are the accusations of extramarital affairs, which have not only attracted media attention but have also posed serious challenges to his reputation and ministry. The allegations first came to light in 2010, around the time of Hinn's divorce from his wife, Suzanne. The couple had been married for over 3 decades and had raised 4 children together, making their separation all the more shocking to followers. While the public was initially focused on the divorce itself, whispers of infidelity began to circulate shortly thereafter. Speculation grew when photos surfaced of Hinn and fellow evangelist Paula White holding hands during a trip to Rome, leading to rampant rumors about their relationship. Although both Hinn and White denied any romantic involvement, the media frenzy surrounding their connection fueled further gossip about Hinn's fidelity. In the wake of the divorce, several tabloid reports emerged, claiming that Hinn had engaged in extramarital relationships during his marriage. The nature of these allegations was particularly damaging, as they painted a picture of a man who, despite preaching moral integrity and divine healing, was unable to maintain fidelity in his own life. Critics seized on this perceived hypocrisy, questioning Hinn's integrity and the authenticity of his ministry. For many followers, the allegations shattered the image of a man devoted to God and his family, raising doubts about the sincerity of his teachings. Hinn's ministry, which often emphasized the importance of family values and morality, faced a severe backlash from both the media and the public. Many churchgoers felt betrayed, struggling to reconcile Hinn's public persona with the allegations of infidelity. This period marked a significant crisis for Hinn, as he found himself not only fighting to save his marriage but also working to restore faith in his ministry. In various interviews, Hinn attempted to address the allegations, asserting that his relationship with White was strictly platonic and that the rumors were exaggerated or unfounded. However, the damage had been done, and many continued to scrutinize his personal life. The situation worsened when additional allegations emerged, including claims from former employees who alleged that Hinn had engaged in inappropriate relationships with women in his congregation. These accusations intensified the scrutiny surrounding his ministry and prompted some followers to question their support. Hinn's critics argued that the culture of celebrity within the church often led to a sense of entitlement among leaders, which could result in moral lapses. The fallout from these accusations cast a long shadow over Hinn's ministry, leading some to call for greater accountability among religious leaders. Despite the challenges he faced, Benny Hinn sought to navigate this tumultuous period by focusing on his spiritual mission. In a public statement, he expressed regret over the pain caused by his marital struggles and the resulting accusations. Hinn emphasized his commitment to healing and restoration, not just in his marriage but also in his ministry. He made efforts to reconnect with his congregation, seeking to reassure them of his dedication to his faith and his role as a spiritual leader. Hinn often cited the importance of forgiveness, both for himself and for those who had been hurt by the allegations against him. In 2012, after a period of separation and personal reflection, Hinn and Suzanne remarried, a move that surprised many but also provided a glimmer of hope for their family. Their reconciliation was seen by some as a sign of healing, not only within their relationship but also within Hinn's life as a minister. However, the accusations of extramarital affairs continued to linger in the background, casting doubt on the sincerity of this renewed commitment. Critics argued that the public perception of Hinn had been irreparably damaged, making it difficult for him to regain the trust of his followers. In the years that followed, Hinn's ministry continued to attract attention, both for his healing crusades and for the ongoing allegations that followed him. He maintained a dedicated following, but the shadow of the past continued to loom large. Hinn's experiences with accusations of infidelity served as a cautionary tale about the challenges of leadership in the church and the potential pitfalls of a high-profile ministry. For many, the story of Benny Hinn became a complex narrative of faith, failure, and the possibility of redemption. In conclusion, the accusations of extramarital affairs against Benny Hinn profoundly affected his personal and professional life. The fallout from these allegations forced Hinn to confront not only the consequences of his actions but also the expectations of his followers and the broader church community. While he sought to rebuild his marriage and restore his ministry, the whispers of scandal continued to linger, highlighting the difficulties that come with being a public figure in the religious realm. Ultimately, Hinn's journey serves as a reminder of the importance of integrity, accountability, and the challenges faced by those who lead in the spiritual arena.